Welcome back to Mind Matters with KSLA News 12. The stereotype about men always being strong and not showing their emotions can be an issue if they have mental health concerns that need to be addressed. So joining me once again is Keisha Simmons, who is a licensed professional counselor, to talk about the importance of men's mental health. So for Ms. Keisha, why is there is a stigma, it seems, with men talking about their mental health openly. Why is that?
Well, of course, once again, mental health concerns show a sign of weakness according to some stigmas, right? And so that's probably the biggest stigma is that it shows a sign of weakness. So if there's something going on mentally, I'm going to struggle with admitting that. And most men really do struggle with admitting that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we always, lots of people talk about masculinity, this idea of masculinity.
Right.
How does that affect mental health in men?
Well, I tell you, according to the National Institute on Mental Illness, men are more likely, 4 times more likely, I should say, to die by suicide than women. And 36% of men with mental health issues, only 36%, I should say, because that is a low stat, with mental health issues actually seek help. Right, so that actually speaks to some of the stigma, and like you said, the mental health concerns associated with women. I mean, with men. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think everybody can be a part of trying to turn the stigma around. So, what are some ways that if you're in a support system for a man, if you have a man in your life who you feel like does need help or maybe has been open and shared this kind of thing, what are some ways that the support system can be supportive?
Right. Well, first off, if he's open, half the battle is won, right?
Yeah.
And so then we can go to some of those common ways we all seek mental health support, which is first off finding a therapist, knowing those resources, knowing your community-based resources. And then, of course, there are a lot of online support now, with telehealth. The online community is a very strong community that you can find some resources for mental health as well. But yeah, if he's open, then you can go right into some of those common ways to seek help, which is finding a right therapist.
And what if they're not as open?
Well, if they're not as open, then you want to focus on the actual behavior, right? Not the person, but the behavior. Identify the behavior, highlight the behavior, identify the behavior, right? And then urge them to focus on or treat that particular behavior, right? And so usually when we focus on the behavior, then a person don't feel so attacked by it, and then is more likely to hear us when we say, we need some help in that area.
Absolutely. I notice we have a couple of resources listed on our screen right now for anybody who needs them.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the resources specifically tailored to men?
Yeah, sure. Well, they all are. All of these resources are tailored to men. Heads Up Guides, this is an online support group there. There's an online support counseling website. And then Therapy for Black Men is also a online support website. And then, of course, NAMI is more of a database. So if you want to, if you're really looking for some help or looking for online or brick and mortar support, NAMI is a great tool for that. And also the American Counseling Association and Psychology Today. They aren't listed, but those are great tools as well.
Ms. Keisha, thank you so much for sharing all these resources with our viewers today. Hopefully that there's a man out there who is seeing this and saying there is help out there. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.